Oklahoma City has built something so strange, so dominant, and there are seasons in the NBA when one player begins the year with such force, such undeniable dominance, that the numbers feel manufactured. They stretch the limits of what we think is possible, rewriting expectations week after week. This season, that force of nature is Giannis, a superstar in his 30s who somehow looks like he has unlocked an entirely new level of himself. Nearly a decade of bruising drives, elite two-way terror, a championship, multiple MVPs, and endless defensive schemes thrown his way should have slowed him. They should have chipped away at the edges of his game. Instead, he has begun this season with the most complete and absurd production of his career. He isn't simply overpowering teams anymore. He's dissecting them. The raw numbers alone are enough to make anyone pause. Over 32 points a night, nearly 12 rebounds, more than 7 assists, and a combined defensive presence that fills every possession with tension. But the efficiency is what pushes this version of Giannis into the realm of the unbelievable. Over 66% true shooting. Nearly 50% from three. A blend of volume and accuracy that defies the scouting reports that have followed him for years. This is not the same player we've grown accustomed to. He still bulldozes through defenders, still warps defenses before he even takes his first dribble, still forces coaches to rewrite their entire game plan overnight. But now, there is a patience to his game, a maturity in his reads, a willingness to manipulate defenders rather than plow through them. When opponents send doubles, Giannis no longer tries to squeeze through the cracks. He invites those traps, scans the floor, and exploits the space behind the pressure with calm, calculated precision. Give him shooters, cutters, and screen partners who understand the timing of his attacks, and suddenly the offense becomes a machine built around his instincts. That is what Milwaukee has finally given him. Spacing, play finishers, and an offense built around the idea that Giannis is not only the best scorer on the roster but the team's most capable initiator. The Bucks are embracing what was always true. Giannis is the system. His usage rate sits at a staggering level that almost no player in the league can match, dominating possessions without dominating minutes, because Milwaukee is quietly prioritizing the one thing that matters more than any regular season statistic: getting him to the postseason healthy. Minutes have dropped, rest days are more frequent, and the supporting cast has been restructured to reduce the wear on his body. It is the balance Milwaukee never fully committed to before. They need him playing with this destructive rhythm in April, not breaking down in March. And yet, the story of this season in Milwaukee is not just Giannis finding another ceiling. It's the unlikely transformation of players many thought were expendable. The most shocking revelation has been Kyle Kuzma's emergence as a defensive anchor and unexpected stabilizer. Most fans had written him off, dismissing him as an awkward fit in a system built on spacing and pace. But Doc Rivers saw something different. He saw size, toughness, instincts, and the ability to handle matchups the Bucks desperately needed help with. Entering the starting lineup wasn't simply about offense. It was a recalibration of Milwaukee's entire defensive identity. And somehow, Kuzma has responded with the most consistent defensive stretch of his career. He has taken elite matchups, held scorers below their usual rhythms, and delivered rebounding and physicality in moments where the Bucks used to collapse on second-chance possessions. He is far from perfect, but his role has allowed the team to stabilize the parts of the game that often separated wins from losses. And just behind him, stepping into a role few expected him to carry, is Ryan Rollins. What was supposed to be a modest depth piece has turned into one of the most important engines of Milwaukee's offense when Giannis sits. His blend of rim pressure, pull-up shooting, and defensive activity fills the void that Dame's departure left behind. Milwaukee needed someone who could bend a defense, someone who could generate paint touches, run actions, and stabilize the offense when the superstar rests. Rollins has been that player. And with nearly 18 points per game on volcanic shooting splits, he has become the team's surprise miracle, the kind of breakout no front office can predict but every contender needs to survive the long grind of a season. Then there is Miles Turner, the anchor Milwaukee chased for years before finally bringing him into the fold. His early struggles gave skeptics new ammunition, but patience has revealed exactly why they pursued him. In the span of weeks, Turner has gone from unsure to indispensable. His three-point shot has returned. His rim protection has settled into form. His ability to defend multiple coverages has given Milwaukee something they have lacked for years: flexibility. He can protect the rim without forcing the entire defense into drop coverage. He can space the floor without sacrificing physicality. In many ways, he has become the updated version of what Brook Lopez once was. More mobile, more vertical, and better suited for the pace Giannis creates. But even with all this progress, Milwaukee's flaws remain obvious. Defensive rebounding continues to haunt them, dragging down what should be strong defensive performances. The perimeter defense is stretched thin by undersized guards forced to guard up. And the Giannis off minutes remain a dangerous cliff where the offense collapses into a shell of itself. These aren't small issues. They are the kind of problems that shatter postseason dreams. Teams cannot survive deep playoff runs if they leak rebounds, give up blow-bys, and stall without their star. Milwaukee must find solutions, whether through staggering minutes, tightening rotations, or exploring mid-season moves, to stabilize the moments where Giannis rests. Yet even with those concerns, one reality is becoming impossible to ignore. This is the most complete version of Giannis the league has ever seen. And when a superstar reaches this level, when he controls the rhythm of every possession, when he lifts his teammates with his playmaking and terrifies opponents with his efficiency, the Bucks become a team no contender can take lightly. They may not be perfect. They may have holes to patch. But with Giannis in full takeover mode, they are a threat to anyone standing between them and another championship. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this new version of Giannis can carry Milwaukee back to the top of the league? Are the Bucks a true contender or one major move away from unlocking their final form? Drop your thoughts below, make sure to like the video if you enjoyed this breakdown, and subscribe for more dramatic deep dives into the biggest stories shaping the NBA. The season is just heating up, and there is so much more to uncover. So quietly unstoppable that it barely feels real. A team missing its second-best player has no business sitting atop the league with a 12-1 record, crushing contenders, suffocating offenses, and turning road games into routine victories. Yet here they are, marching through the first month of the season like a team that already knows how this story ends. Jaylen Williams hasn't played a single second. Multiple elite defenders have missed stretches. 7 of their first 12 games were on the road. And somehow, the Thunder have emerged not just good, but terrifying. The league keeps waiting for them to blink, to fall back to earth, to finally feel the weight of their absences. Instead, every night ends the same way, with Oklahoma City looking like the best team in basketball. The craziest part is that none of it is smoke and mirrors. None of it is luck, or hot shooting, or schedule quirks. It all begins with a man who looks like he's playing the sport on an easier difficulty setting than everyone else. Gilgeous-Alexander has reached a level that defies language. Scoring over 30 points a night without touching the fourth quarter isn't just dominance. It's something closer to inevitability. Every run he makes feels like a cheat code. Every burst of scoring resets the entire rhythm of a game. He has become the kind of superstar who controls momentum the way others control dribbles. Defenses load up. Schemes shift. Bodies fly at him. And it doesn't matter. His torque, his footwork, the offbeat timing that leaves defenders guessing. Shai has weaponized unpredictability. Add in the new pull-up jumper, the willingness to fire off the dribble, the rising efficiency from deep, and suddenly opponents can't duck screens or sag off. They have to crowd him, chase him, bite on every fake, and in doing so, they open the floor exactly the way SGA wants. This is how a superstar bends a league to his will without ever appearing rushed, panicked, or out of control. But it hasn't been just the scoring. His leap as a playmaker has transformed Oklahoma City's offense in ways last season's numbers could never capture. He sees defenses rotating before they actually rotate. He throws passes that break the geometry of a possession. The moment he sits, everything looks different. The rhythm slows, the shot creation disappears, the offense becomes mortal. Without Jaylen Williams to offset that loss, Shai has become the ultimate stabilizer. Last year, he had to carry the Thunder through most fourth quarters. This year, he spends those minutes sitting comfortably on the bench, watching the work he put in earlier turn into easy wins. That's how you know a superstar is the engine of something special. And yet, this season hasn't been just the Shai show. Because Oklahoma City now has something they didn't have before. They have a second star who can close games, punish switches, anchor both ends, and deliver elite production without requiring elite usage. Chet Holmgren has entered a new phase of his career. His defense has always been borderline ridiculous. His rim protection is so airtight that opponents often abandon the paint entirely. But now, the offensive leap has arrived. The mid-range touch is soft and deadly. The pump-fake floater looks automatic. His confidence attacking mismatches is unmistakable. Last year, the Thunder could get predictable when they needed a bucket late. This year, Chet gives them another route entirely. He stretches defenses with pick-and-pops, punishes guards on switches, finishes lobs, and forces big men into uncomfortable decisions. With nearly 19 points per game on historically efficient shooting, he has become the release valve that makes Oklahoma City's offense feel inevitable rather than volatile. Even on nights when Shai is quieter, Chet can casually drop 25 and patch every offensive hole. It all sounds overwhelming, but the scariest part isn't the stars. It's the defense. Oklahoma City's defense looks like something pulled out of a system designed to torture opposing offenses. They've done it without Jaylen Williams, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, or even Chet for stretches. And yet they still sit at number 1 in the league. They held Luka Doncic, one of the most adaptable offensive engines the league has ever seen, to 19 points on 20 shots. The Thunder defenders swarmed him on the perimeter, switched when necessary, blitzed at angles most teams wouldn't dare attempt, then funneled him directly into Holmgren's orbit. Luka's usual counters evaporated. His mismatches vanished. His decision-making became strained. It was like watching a brilliant player walk through a maze where every exit had been welded shut. What makes all of this even more terrifying is how repeatable it is. This defense doesn't depend on one player. It's a fully connected ecosystem where every rotation, every switch, every scramble feels pre-programmed. Everyone knows their assignment. Everyone moves in sync. And even the injuries haven't fractured it. That's why the Thunder have been able to survive long stretches without key defenders. When a player is missing, someone else steps in and seamlessly fits the scheme. Which brings us to the newest revelation, A.J. Mitchell. A year ago, he was a forgotten second-round pick who barely stepped onto the floor. Now he's averaging nearly 17 points per game and looks like a legitimate most improved player candidate. His pacing is calm, intentional, almost surgical. He manipulates defenders with the patience of a veteran guard, never rushing, never forcing, always playing one step ahead. Watching him feels like seeing a smaller, quicker Jalen Brunson glide into open spaces with total composure. And the defense. Somehow, by the numbers, Mitchell has been Oklahoma City's best on-off defender. On the best defense in the NBA. It's absurd. His rotations are sharp, his positioning is clean, and his understanding of the system makes him the perfect complement to the roster. No, he won't crack the starting lineup when everyone is healthy. But he's the kind of bench piece championship teams dream of, reliable, smart, and capable of swinging games in short bursts. And now the question becomes almost uncomfortable. If this is what Oklahoma City looks like with injuries, what happens when they're fully healthy? A lineup featuring SGA, Jaylen Williams, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, and Holmgren alongside A.